What's going on? Let me take you all a little memory trip. A little long memory trip. Think back to right as Forsaken released. We had the whole issue with Not Forgotten and Luna's Howl. I didn't really hate the weapons, just thought they hit way too hard too quickly, which meant for me, I think if they would have, with how fast they were firing, if they would have just taken one more shot to kill, I think they would have been fine. Which means, yeah, reeling back their damage a bit would have been, you know, not good, but I think just reeling back the damage just a bit to where they take one more shot within the meadow was still fine. Because they were 180s back then, they killed just fast enough. I felt they were good. They were fine. Just reel back that damage to make them take one more shot or so, or make it to where their body shot needed to be like one extra. I think they would have been fine. I really wouldn't have cared. Everything else on them was fine. But there was one thing with those weapons that me personally felt was a big issue. Shotguns. Now I know a lot of people might be thinking, "Oh, don't touch my shotgun." I don't. Let me give you an example. And I'm not trying to be mean. And I know a lot of people are afraid of nerfs. I don't really want a nerf. I don't want a nerf at all. What I want is this, and I'm being nice, and I really am not saying I want this. I just want them to tweak something. For one, certain shotguns hit way too far out of their range that they shouldn't be hitting. Especially whenever I'm sitting there going, okay, say you've been caught in a situation before. I'm pretty sure other people have. You jump up, you back away in the air, you're really far out of shotgun range. The shotgun still, it still taps you, kills you. And you jumped away before he did. Like, you jumped away before he slid in, he jumped in. Like, you're far away from a shotgun shot. And it should do a little bit of damage to you or do half damage. But somehow, the shotgun still kills you. Now, like I said, I know what you're going to say. Well, there is quick draw, there is slide shot, there is opening shot. Still, there's times where I've sat there and I've been at auto rifle range. Like, I'll jump out of the way, be at auto rifle range, like the auto rifle mid range, and I'll have something like Astral Horizon, Mindbenders, Dust Rock, and they'll just sit there and tap me. And I sit there and have to think to myself, no. And I know what you're saying, there's many variables there. Maybe the guy I was going against has a laggy connection, or maybe my connection was bad, or maybe, something. It could be anything. There's tons of factors. But if you know for a fact that every time you've gone into that situation, which I've been in multiple situations like that, like tons of times here recently, that shotgun shouldn't have killed you.
Oh, yeah.
So, my question is, my conclusion, shouldn't say question, would be, I think it'd be okay if they nerf the range on shotguns. Not by a lot, but like a slight margin. Which I sit there and say, like, just a little bit. Not a lot. I don't want shotguns to be completely useless. I just want them to be working within their intended range, because a lot of times I sit there and go, why are shotguns still this prevalent of an issue this far into all this whenever I go and play PvP? And everybody go, well, don't nerf them because then they'll suck in PvE. No, because most time in PvE, when you use a shotgun, you get right up in front of somebody. You're right up on top of an enemy. In PvP, you want to do that, but a lot of times you don't even have to do that. You just have to get within range of whatever the shotgun can do, and it's just insane. Some of the ranges they can hit at. And especially with Felwinter's coming back, I feel like it's going to be even more exasperated how ridiculous the range on shotguns are. And that's why I said they never should have nerfed Air until. And like Wise and Rebuked and all these others. Which I get why they did, but I felt like they shouldn't have. Now, the other thing to touch on is this whole hand-holding, I like to call it Crucible, where not only do we have a bad shotgun problem, but this whole thing of like, say you're shooting at somebody, you see them rush out with a shotgun like an idiot. Well, they're not dead yet and they slide back in to hide. And you have to make the decision, do I go back with my teammates? Or do I push? Say you push and you try to get the angle up on them, and you're sitting there peppering them down because they've missed their shot again. But while you're peppering them down, 2 more people come running out of nowhere going, I gotta protect my teammate, and they shotgun you down. And you're sitting there going, wait, where did they come from? You weren't fighting them, they just came out of nowhere. Well, what ends up happening, and I see this happen a lot, and have it happen to me almost constantly, half my teammates will die from a team of people just shotgun rushing like apes, going nuts, because they don't know how to actually get skill in Crucible or do anything. They just shotgun rush with whatever shotgun's meta at the moment. And then half my teammates are dead, and then I'm stuck by myself, and now I'm dealing with the guy who I was trying to kill with a shotgun, and now I have to deal with 2 or 3 or 4 more people all gunning me down with shotguns. And it's like, how is that fucking fair? How is that fucking fun? How is anyone finding that fun? It's just basically saying, hey, you want to win, throw on a shotgun. Now I know what you might be thinking. Well, you could throw on a sniper. Alright, I throw on a sniper, but I get sniped myself because the only 2 snipers everyone wants to run are Revoker and Beloved.
Let me check right away.
Even though the other snipers are still good. And I've always said that to people, the other snipers are still good. The issue is, and I've seen this before, a lot of people just, they don't want to run them. They don't want to run the other snipers. And yeah, I get it, they kind of got weakened. But from what I can tell and what I've played with on some of the adaptive frames, rapid fire frames, aggressive frames, all the others that I have that I've played with,
3 hours down to City for
they seem to do just fine in Crucible. I've gotten headshots consistently. I've still killed people consistently. I've done damage consistently. Like, I've been able to do fine. So, what does that leave me with? That leaves me with, it's not really the weapons problem. It's the players problem. And I'm always going to sit there and be on the side of the fact that players do have the right to, you know, make their opinion heard and, you know, say that, hey, you know, maybe these weapons aren't as good as they once were. But the thing is, from what I've noticed, and I've play tested a lot, and I play a lot of Crucible, it's not really the sniper rifle's fault. It's not really the shotgun's fault. It's not the fusion rifle. It's really Bungie's fault. It's Bungie's fault, and it's people who want to do ease of use and just meta only and think it's fun. Which I cry frankly every time I see people that just only use the meta in regular Crucible. I go, dude, you are so boring. Like, every time I see people just use just meta shit and like quick play and all these other modes, that is not the 3, like, if you're using meta outside of Trials, Survival, and Iron Banner, I'm sorry, but like, you're just the epicenter of what is wrong with Crucible PvP in general, because you're too afraid. And I'm gonna say it, and you can get mad at me, you can hate me for all you want, I don't care, you can throw messages at me, I consider you scared. I consider you a coward. Because you're afraid to try something else. I don't care if like your KD goes down. I don't care if you start losing a couple games. I do that all the time. But the thing is, I like to try other loadouts. I like to try something else. That's why I like what Geekermon does. Because the weapon may not be the best. Doesn't matter. If you are willing to put in the time and effort. And that's the problem. Not a lot of people have the time to do it. But people can put in an effort. People may not have time, but they can put in effort. And effort's my issue. A lot of people see the meta and they go, I'll just run that. It's the only thing that's good. No, it's not. There's other weapons that are good if you're willing to give them a try, but that's the problem. No one wants to give them a try because no one wants to be, I don't know, they don't want to be seen as a loser. It's like, okay dude, it's like, I lose a lot. I don't care. But every time I win a game or win a match with a loadout I know is not good, I sit there and look to myself and go, it's maybe not me. It's maybe the player base that has an issue. It's maybe the player base that they're afraid to try anything. They're so scared.
Do you have something for me, Guardian?
You know, and it makes me sit there and just like giggle to myself and laugh and go, what's wrong with people? Why don't people want to take the time to try something else? I mean, hell, I'm not asking for people to be, you know, god tier PvP players. I'm asking people to give certain weapons a chance. There's certain weapons I feel would be, like, especially there's certain weapons nowadays that come out, I would feel would be really good in a meta sense if people just gave them a try. But the problem is, every time we try to, me and other YouTubers and other people like that, some of the big name Destiny YouTubers I see try out certain weapons and get told by other people how good they are. People watch that and then they go, yeah, but it just doesn't kill fast enough, or it doesn't do this, or it's a niche weapon. It's like, yeah, it's a niche weapon for a reason. And that's because it takes some time getting used to. It's not here, point, click, shoot, win, like most shotguns are nowadays, or most auto rifles are nowadays, the 600 especially. Or it's not, you know, like the Revoker where it gives you your ammo back for basically nothing because it's like the icebreaker all over again. Where basically you can just cheese everything. And it's not some of these supers and exotics that are basically out there and broken, and it's none of this bullcrap. It's, hey, I'm gonna test my skill with a weapon I've never used before, and let's try to see how good I am. And I've always said this. We need more, you know, and I'll always say, this is what I say to Bungie. We need weapons that are rarely used, or archetypal weapons that are rarely used. We need them to be buffed a little bit. We need a little bit of buff for those weapons, and some new perks may be added for those weapons only, so that way those weapons can see some play in Crucible, so we can see some more interesting builds, some more interesting things. And that's where I come from. It's like, I want to see that, instead of just seeing the same old metas that last for too long. They're just always there. It just gets super boring, it's super inconsistent, and I get just super exhausted, and I sit there and go, what's the point? Nobody wants to try anything different. Everybody just wants to sit there and be the most boring person in Crucible. And I really ain't trying to shit on people who want to use the meta. If you want to use it, use it. I'm not going to say no. But I always will convince people, say, hey, try something different. You might end up liking something that you've never tried before. You never know. I mean, those weapons that my friends convinced me to try, I didn't know if I would like them or not. I started trying them. I really ended up liking the weapons. So always